films. I like to be with you guys, but I cannot. But thanks so much for the festival for having me and also for holding the Q&A session as well.
So,
Do you email?
yeah. yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will start with a few questions, then I'll open to the floor. First question, your theme is very whimsical, very inventive for both the story and the way of storytelling. So can you tell us what's your inspiration for this theme?
Oh, I think I like to try a lot of stuff in the film. I like to, I don't know, I like the film when it's like, when you watch the film for 10 minutes and you're not sure like where it's gonna lead to, and then it changes directions all the time, something like that. And yeah, and then, I don't know. I mean, the inspiration is from, one of it would be like, oh yeah, some folk tales in Thailand. Because like before, this is my first feature, and before that I made a few short films, and I always like look into the Thai history, and I always pick like a figure, like a characters in the history, whether it's maybe a real person or legendary or mythical characters or figures, and I play with that idea. Yeah. And that's, I think like that's like a very famous ghost in Thai history. She's called Mena Prakanong. She's kind of, we believe that she existed in 19th century central Thailand. She and her husband, like she's a woman who was waiting for her husband to return from war. Her husband was recruited to be a soldier, and while she was waiting, like she died giving birth to their kids. And then when husband returned, like he didn't know that his wife was already dead already, and they stayed together. But somehow like neighbors and community like were not happy that this couple, human ghost couple, like stay together. So they try to break them apart. Yeah, and I think like I kind of look at this legend more from the contemporary perspective, and I found it's very queer, in the sense that like human and ghost couple could be like represent like a queer relationship in today's world. Like two individuals are judged by society that they're not supposed to be together, like men should not be with men or women should not be with women, and humans should not be with ghosts. So from this legend, I look like how it could unfold differently in the present time, and that's one of my inspiration. Another one would be like I had this image of a ghost walking in a office building, but not to scare or frighten people, but to work. I feel like we live in such a difficult time that even the dead need to make a living. Yeah, I think that's two founding ideas that I have when I was developing this film. Yeah.
And how long have you been working on this project? It seems it went to many project markets and got funding from different countries. So can you tell about the journey you have been?
Yeah, I started to, I think like I first began to have this idea about for this film is like in 2017, and then like I applied the project to Singapore film, like Singapore workshop, Southeast Asian script writing workshop at Singapore Film Festival in 2017, and then I pitched the project, and then I met my producer, and we work on it, like, and we like applied to a lot of funding. We got money from Singapore, from France, from Germany, and have support from Locarno Film Festival, and also Tokyo Talents, Hubert Ball Fund. Yeah, so it's I think like the financing process took it quite long. Yeah, it's such a long process until we managed to save enough money. And the film started shooting in 2023, December 2023, and we finished like January, February 2024 last year. Yeah, and we premiered the film this year at Cannes Critics Week. Yeah.
So, and in the film, I think dust is a very important symbol in the film. And so there is that vacuum cleaner. Can you tell more about the meaning of dust to you? Why do you pick dust as the symbol for the film?
Yeah, because in 2017 that I started writing, developing the project, we also had like dust pollution. Dust pollution is real in Thailand. So every winter, like there was like increasing levels of dust pollution, especially in Bangkok and in the north as well. So when I started writing it, I kind of like incorporated the real incident into the story. And also another reason that I use dust is because like I think in Thai political slang, like that's used to call someone who like you're like a dust. It means like you don't matter. You're not you're like a subhuman. You're worth less than human. So I think like it kind of makes sense in a way that people are like that. It's because like that people like those in power, they don't care about actual people in society. Like they like that to them. They could be easily swept. They could be cleansed away, something like that. So I think like that is a powerful figure to be used in the film.
So maybe let's see if there is question from the audience.
So thanks very much for the wonderful film. So the film starts with the conflict between the mother and the daughter-in-law, the ghost. And it's something I noticed in a lot of recent Thai ghost movies. So this conflict between parent and the younger ghost. And I'm wondering if there's a commentary that you're trying to make about the conflict between the older generation and younger generation in Thailand.
I think it's one of the mother-in-law is one of the most famous popular trope in Thai melodrama. And I don't know, like I think I was raised with Thai TV soaps, so I kind of like that conflict. But it's more like how I use the melodrama trope. Then I have like a specific comments on the reality, I think. Yeah. But I think like most of it's like these two characters, Nat and the mother-in-law, is somehow like they are like an outsider to the family. I think like they share the same similar position in this family, also in society as well. They always like outsider that try to get in. Yeah, but the conflict between them, I think it more like I borrow it from melodrama trope, Thai melodrama. Yeah.
I really enjoy watching the film, and I noticed that the mother actually came from northeastern Thailand, and I just want to know more about the undertone of this setup and why do you make her somewhat like outcast from the family? Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I think like in this film it's full of like outsider, outcast, or marginalized people that try to, I would say like, try to fit in the system at the expense of something else. Like they might compromise some of their, they might compromise their moral stand or something like that, and they just because like they want to be part of something, they want to be part of the system. So, yeah, I think the last scenes of mothers-in-law and Nat like they kind of like reflecting each other for me. That scene, yeah.
Is there any question from the audience?
Hi, lovely film, first of all. I'd like to know, because the film really intrigued me by the use of dreams, and I'm quite curious about what led to your fascination of that, and also even like how did you manage to go from those fascinations to then portraying them on the screen? I'd love to know that. Thank you.
About the dream, because because like actually I got the title first before I finished the screenplay, so I know that the film is going to be called A Useful Ghost, but I'm not sure like how useful it is, like how a ghost can be useful to society. In Thailand normally like when the ghost is useful is when they visit you in your dream, like your late grandmother, your late grandfather like visit you in your dream and give you like the lottery number that you need to buy next time, so you can like win like the first prize or something like that. But somehow like Ghost giving lottery number is not cinematic enough for me. Like it's not gonna be good for film for the screenplay. So I try to look like how a ghost can be useful, and then I was writing it in. Finished the first draft in 2020. There was it was a COVID year, and there's a lot of protester and demonstrations against military regime by that time across the country. And I found that sometimes policemen like they arrested a lot of activists based on what they found in their chat history in their phone on their phone. They might confiscated their phones and look like what they are saying to other people on the chat history. And I found that quite it's kind of violation that you look prior to something so personal. So, and in Thailand, like because I think in a lot of Asian society, we had this belief that ghosts can enter your dream, can visit you in your dream, and dream is something so personal, so intimate. Like you own it, but you don't know it. You don't know what your dream contains. So I kind of mix this thing like how ghosts can be useful to authoritarian. And I also was inspired by this novel, The Palace of Dreams, by the Albanian novelist. His name is like Ismail Kadare. Palace of Dreams is about this fictional country that they have Ministry of Dreams. And every morning when people in this country wake up, before they go to work, they need to go to the district and report what they dreamed last night to the officer. And this officer will collect people's dreams throughout the whole country and send to the ministry. And some officer in the ministry, like higher up, like they will analyze the dream, and to see like if there's like a potential rebel or national traitor from based on the dream. And I found that idea of monitoring dreams so fascinating. So it's kind of come together for me that okay, instead of ghosts giving you lottery number, go visit your dream and try to see what you are dreaming and whether this dream contains something to be potential dangerous for people in power. Yeah.
Thank you for the film. It's great to watch. I felt that many times the film could have finished, but it keeps going. Or how did you feel the same way, and then you felt like I should keep going?
I honestly, when I was reading it, I didn't feel that. I just thought that it's natural for me when I was editing the film, and even when I was writing it, I felt like it could, I don't know, like yeah, maybe I got that a lot actually, but when I was like editing, I didn't feel that, yeah.
幫我做個翻譯。OK，咁我最主要想講三點啦。第一就係嗰個感覺係話對於遺忘同埋記憶嗰個着緊嗰個我覺得係嗰個重要一個想法，一個嘅即係中心思想啦。即係句説話，即係你死第一次、第二次真係永遠死，即係冇人記得你咁樣。呢一個係一個以前有啲戲嗰個主題。咁呢個喺呢一套戲一個透過一個影像去慢慢去將個人消失咧，係好強烈咁感受到個形象呢一個表達呢個信息，我覺得係好正啊。OK 好 OK。咁我講埋先嚇。第二就係如果呢個係有中文字幕，將來可能我諗會係即係可能會收得嘅。OK， 希望可以做到中文字幕咁可能，或者會有一個推廣係值得推廣。OK， 第三最後就係呢個將來希望第日我可以唱到 Happy Death Day to Me，Happy Death Day to Me 就係最正。OK。
Show this audience member share his thoughts. He's touched by in the film one of the thoughts about the memory and being forgotten by others. So it's like first time you die, and then the second time is the second time of death is like you have been forgotten by the other people. So this is something that he's really touched. And then the second thing is he feels that this film may have potential for commercial release. So this is his thought. And then he personally hope that maybe in the future someone will sing Happy Birthday to him. He'll be happy about that. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, director. Thanks for your film. And I think one major topic of your film is kind of like national memory, this kind of historical issue. And that, in my understanding, this kind of topic may face some censorship pressure when doing the publication. But I'm not familiar with the Thailand's film industry, so I'm curious about during your making of film, is there any extra pressure or censorship issue that you encountered? Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't hear it quite well. What's the last part? Sorry.
Okay. In short, is that I'm curious, is there any censorship issue about your film? Because I think the topic is quite contested.
Yeah. The film was released already in Thailand in August, and it passed the censorship. So we got like 18+. So it's mainly for nudity and sexual scene. But I think initially we were worried more about the Hmong scene because like it's kind of obvious pictures of Hmong saying C word and stuff. But I think like we don't have any issue with the censorship. Yeah. Surprisingly, in a good way. Yeah.
Thank you for this wonderful and lovely film. My question would be, why would you want to include at the end this like super or kind of violent but also very vibrant, colorful scene at the end where the ghost kidnap Dr. Paul and his friends, especially since throughout the film like all the ghosts we've seen has only been causing like very mild naughty nuisance as best, and like towards the end of the film you have this scene where like the ghosts are like actually ghosts who can wreak havoc.
Actually, like because before the final draft of the screenplay, I used to have like a draft that it ends like unhappily, like Nat just disappear, people forget about her, and nothing has been changed, and with that draft, like I also talked to my friends and I sent to other people to read, and I discussed, and I felt like why even, because in reality those people in power who are responsible for lots of disappearance or death or of activists in Thailand, like they live happily afterwards, like they die of old age, like they don't need to suffer the consequence. They don't need to pay for what they did to other people. And I felt like why in the film we let our imagination to be contained by the reality. So I think like at least in the film we could have something that in reality we could not. So I think so I wrote another draft and I created the sequence, but also in the last few seconds I feel like it might not happen as well. The whole thing, the whole goal's revenge, it might not happen because like you see this trickling effects of the image that it could be another person's dream as well for me. But I think like we should have an opportunity to imagine otherwise, like how these people in power could suffer, something like that. Yeah.
So we have the last question there.
Hi, Archie Boom. Thank you for the film. I really enjoyed it, and I've been waiting for it since right now in industry. And I have two questions. the first one that you say that your inspiration for the characters are Pimak and Nangnak. It's quite funny that you cast a Fika who also played as a Nangnak before. Any reason behind the casting? And the second one, I feel the political aspect is quite unexpected, and it only appears on the second half. May I know when is that it come I want to put this political aspect to the film. Thank you.
The first one is about the characters and about Davika, right? I hold it up, yeah. Because she used to play Pima, which is kind of the same legend, right? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually it's coincidental. I didn't cast her because of that, but we lucky to have her and because actually she was in my producer for this film, he also produced another series, Netflix series, 69, directed by Ben Ek, another Thai director. So he met Davika at that on the shooting, and Davika talked to him about she hadn't been in film for more than almost 10 years, and she wanted to be back making films. So if you have any projects, you can contact her. And my producer was like, oh, I had this one. Could you play vacuum cleaner? And Davika was like, okay, that's interesting. Something I never tried before, because she's such a famous actress in Thailand. She's done a lot of commercial work and successful a lot. So she need a new challenge. She need to do something that she never does before. So that's how she became on board. So it wasn't planned or intentional, that because she was in Pima Prakanong, another Thai films that also play on the same region. And the second question about the politics, I think the films tend to be, I think it's the, how to say, it's the reason behind the film from the beginning, yeah. But I like silliness, I like absurdity, so I kind of intentionally make people feel that in the beginning they are watching something else. So I think it's by design from the beginning that the film will talk about this issue, but I intentionally make the first few minutes, oh no, not first few minutes, the last sections of the film look quite silly in the beginning. And because I feel when you suddenly realize that there's something social, historical, political underneath it creates some feeling that I wanted to make in audience, instead of prepare them from the beginning that they are watching something serious. So you were audience are misled to think that they are watching simple comedy or simple weird film, and then something hit them. I kind of like that feeling. I think I like the feeling of suddenly what you're watching take a different turn to other directions that you might not plan to, which kind of could be very divisive as well. Because in Thailand, some people like it a lot. They're excited because in Thailand, I think it's such a luxury to talk about politics so bluntly. We cannot talk about politics so directly. So in the film, this film could be considered quite direct. So some people are excited to watch that, and some people kind of very much turn off by the direction that the film take in the latter half. Yeah.
Okay, we are running out of time today, so this is the end of the post-screening sharing. Please give a big hand to the microphone. Thank you for making this movie. And I hope we can see you next time in person in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I hope to.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for coming.